Like we navigating the social media thing that we navigating is new territory, bro, for a lot of us, you know, and what the do's and don'ts, like we finding out as we fucking go along.
Who?
Us,
bro. You've been on social media.
There's a whole lot of shit. This
is nothing new to you. This is nothing new to you, Des.
Nah, man, that keeps on coming.
You from when? Like you 10 years in now?
Yeah, like from Facebook. Right?
I'm not counting Facebook because Facebook. And also, speaking of Facebook, how come we weren't wilding as much on Facebook than we are on Twitter today? The same way on Facebook.
Nah. Because how about you were dealing with fam just on Facebook?
We weren't doing that sort of shit.
It's like WhatsApp. You don't want that on WhatsApp.
Yeah,
why the fuck are we doing all of this weird shit on Twitter, bro?
And how about, okay, I think the clout that comes with it.
The clout that comes, like you can literally be famous from social media, and that's something new.
Or because Facebook is only people that follow you.
Yeah, and family friends.
And the rest on Twitter.
It's strangers.
Can be anybody.
Yeah, it's strangers. You know, it's new.
Yeah.
You finding common folk or getting common folk who become celebs.
Yeah.
I mean, you were a superstar in your days.
Yeah, well.
So on Facebook too.
On Facebook.
Yeah.
How were you handling the fame?
How did you handle the fame, my nigga? What was it like back then?
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you were like you had Facebook clout.
A lot
of clout.
A lot.
Alright, my nigga. What one?
But now I think even from I think that was like brother, I was like, I had Fresh hit me up.
Fresh?
On the show. That's how crazy it was. I promise you.
Bro, I still, like, who was the first celeb to ever retweet me, bro? Shit. Because, hey, man, I was excited as fuck.
But I think at the time, I don't know where this thing came from, but I've always been, from the early on, I was always very careful to separate my personal life from my persona. So people never knew what I was doing for a living. They never knew where I lived.
Was that a conscious
That was
effort?
conscious on my part.
Because what would happen or?
Yeah, because on Facebook, it dawned on me earlier on that I wanted to use it as an outlet for humor. It was never insight into my life. But on Instagram today, when you go, you know who I'm about. You know, this is guy, this is what he does, this is his family.
His family, but
at the time, it was comical. You know, like we were characters, but that realization out in there, this thing ends here. And then I was liking that sense.
Also, you created boundaries.
Yeah, it was like it was a persona, but I was still going with my normal name.
Yeah.
You know, but I knew the things that I was expressing there were more of a creative outlet. It was not like I would never say this is who I am, this is where I work, this is what I do, this is why people don't even know where I came from.
Mara, at the peak of your clout, did you feel sort of important?
Extremely.
Yeah.
Like I mattered.
You would have.
Yeah.
I would go to gigs like...
I just feel like people tend to forget that there's a certain amount or level of dignity that they need to maintain when they interact on a public platform.
Yeah.
You know?
I wanna like when you reach a certain stage of popularity, right? Like there's certain things you need to be mindful of. I wanna like with us, with the pod, what I try to be mindful of is how I respond back to the listeners, because some I'll give you one example. Fenty, I remember your fucking name, nigga. He hit me. He was watching the videos, and then hey, Des in front of you need to go jog, right?
You need to do what?
I need to go jog. Jog.
Do you know him?
Fence. I don't know him. Right?
He had you fucked up.
Yeah. I caught offense.
I caught
offense. My natural inclination was, my natural inclination. That's what I wanted to say, right? But then I've had interactions with Fence on him just responding to the pod, you know, and I've seen he has support for the podcast and for us.
Yeah.
And then I had to look at what he's saying, even though I caught offense, but I figured because he's a supporter of the pod, who was like, you know, let me take this, you know, even though it was in bad taste, nyana. I caught offense. And then also, instead of giving him that response, that's what I said. With laughing emojis,
okay. Because I think to an extent, when people hear us speak here, or when you interact with someone on social media for an extended period of time, you get to a point where you feel like you know this person.
There's a familiarity.
Yeah, right. So it's a bit difficult for you to keep or draw those boundaries, so that you don't go beyond, or so willing to that you don't have no business,
and so easy to cross.
It's a very blurred line.
Yeah,
but a lot of people don't know how to. It's tact, bro.
Yeah.
Did he tell you this privately?
No.
Yeah, I would say.
No. I can find out.
No, but no. Actually, I feel like it would have been worse if you had come into your DM to say that.
Or if it was DM.
Yeah, but if it's on the TL, I would take it as banter.
Yeah.
I would take it as banter because we banter around,
Yeah.
And we like to tease you about your weight too.
Of course.
So maybe because, it's a family thing.
Yeah.
It becomes something that, or clown tabang or dares or DC about, But once you come into my DM and you say that sort of shit, then on a personal.
Yeah, you are becoming personal.
Yeah, the tier one, I'm not.
Yeah. It comes with a little bit of discernment.
Yeah.
Because make it discern even the jokes that we share amongst us as niggas, sometimes our listeners feel they can extend the jokes.
Yeah, and it might be a bit unfair to expect them not to.
Not to.
Yes. So I held myself back.
Yeah.
Don't come into my DMs, but tell me that I go need to jog.
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, if you ever had any thought, any inkling to come to me about anything into my DMs, don't khalemela. Don't do it.
Yeah.
But Lena, she did on the TL. Or a sanitate.
Oh yeah.
That's a tip to it, bro.
Yeah.
Going?
That's banter. Because our first episode
I was still,
But because she said it on there, and we know her like that,
yes,
it wasn't something I'll catch offense to.
Yeah.
But if you not like a DM her, maybe I cannot get what
then you might be like,
but you don't know me that well. Yeah,
but this thing, you bother her so much that you are serious. You actually want me to do something about it.
Yeah, which got me thinking. Sometimes, because of a person's talent or whatever they do, they get, somersaulted or thrown into this world of popularity and just people critiquing every little thing.
Yeah.
And there's no training, bro. There's no fucking training because I love your music, for instance. I feel like I can now talk on your relationships. You know what I'm saying? Because let's say DJ where.
That's what Black Coffee always complains about.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not gonna guy within my marriage just because you buy my fucking music. But I feel entitled.
Do you guys think that there's an underlying virtue, characteristic that a person would need to have that would prevent them from doing anything out of character or doing anything that might look a bit shady or undignified?
What do you mean?
Like, what's the underlying characteristic that a person would need to have to avoid going into people's DMs or asking private stuff to people that they have no business to? Huh?
Nee. Hosepapi.
Skapap.
Hosepapi.
And skapapela about it.
But hosepapi comes from what?
Yeah.
I'm looking for something that a person would need to have
to prevent, to make it easy for them.
Something that a person would need to have that would make them naturally inclined not to do those sort of things.
But I check and happy and I've also seen with myself, right? Like Otolore, Casper does tweet something, right? Because of the sheer number of people who tweet him all the time and how far removed he is. I often think, if I tweet, he won't see it. If I tweet him,
Yeah.
or maybe retweet and say something, he's not gonna see that. You know, because I'm thinking just because of the sheer number,
Which is naive, yeah.
yeah. And then I would say some ignorant shit because I like to clown the homie. Well,
Okay.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah, I clown him a lot on his fucking tweet. And I'm thinking, and because I can say and because Ohole, and I'm thinking, he'll never fucking, read that shit, But what if he does?
What if he does?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he reads that
I
shit.
think, can I understand the question, Lisa? I was sorry. Osepapi is a result of that. But what is that thing? Is it Huriso? Kitompo? Kiditong?
But can we?
I think I would say, if somebody would ask me, I would say respect, because if you have respect in general, there are certain things that you just won't do.
Yeah.
There are certain things that you just won't do. Number one. Number two, I think retard, man. Like
Self-respect.
when you always cognizant of how certain things make you look.
Yeah.
Understand? Because nobody ever wants to look like they out here wilding.
Yeah.
Nobody ever wants to look like that, right? But if you are averse to looking like that, then there are certain things that you're just not going to engage in. It's like when somebody comes at you all the way sideways on the timeline, right? And they stooped all the way low, but you know that
Responding to them.
rebutting to that just puts you in the fucking pits.
And you don't want to be there.
Yeah,
And it's very hard for you to then clean up your name after you shoot back just as hard as that person came at you, because once that all said and done and that's done, you still carry that taint.
Yeah, because it's one Nto. Or when I remember when Sega was going after Nto.
After.
Who's that nigga?
Shimza.
Hey, him responding, then shone a light on Sega.
Yeah.
Just the mere response of it. But if he ignored him, nothing would have happened.
Nothing would have happened.
Nothing would have happened.
In fact, when I'm a poppies.
Just by the. I get why Shimza responded, because you feel the shit, bro. Like when someone literally gets you fucked up. Like when I'm reading the shit, bro, I'm then responding, being in my position, then I have to be cognizant. It's just that depending on your position, I think then it requires some level of before or responder back.
Social media.
Yeah, I don't want to look weird, bro.
Yeah. Happy social
don't
media.
wanna
How you feel it, bro?
I don't want to look strange. It's just like these
You feel it, bro.
social media games, where you post a picture, tell me one thing that you
I don't play that shit.
I find the
I find them, ask me anything.
Yeah, ask me. Yeah,
I find them bitch made to such an extent.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't need that.
To such a high an extent
I don't play that shit.
that anybody that plays that, it's something that
Those games are born into validation.
yes, exactly.
People want validation.
So when you look like
You crave validation.
you love and you crave that validation, you start looking some kind of way too.
Yeah,
Right,
you look bitch, man.
Because then I go back to, and you are right, what you were mentioning. Why would I be so comfortable, so comfortable on a public platform to have strangers ask me anything?
Bro.
Strangers, anything?
Bro.
So because I'm worried about how would that, number one, make me feel and make me look.
Once you answer it.
Yeah, because I look at those posts as somebody that's seeking validation.
Yes.
Do you understand?
No,
That's seeking
validation.
They're seeking a pat on the back, a lollipop, a star on the forehead, whatever the fuck, right?
Yes.
And we know that
it's good.
it's something that
Makes
the other
them feel
gender
good.
particularly likes to indulge in.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
fine, but I still look down on it.
It makes them feel good.
Yeah, and I then think to myself, if I'm going to participate in something like that, then it classes me with you.
Yes. It does.
right? Now I'm the same person now.
You crave validation.
I can't afford that.
Yeah.
I don't need that for myself. So I will look at that thing and I'll spit on it.
Yeah, and that's where my criticism of Casper comes along.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying about how he's so overly, like obsessed with validation.
Yeah, he is, bro.
No matter what he achieves, he's obsessed with it. You know what I'm saying? Like this nigga is doing. Like he's selling out concerts like nobody in Africa. No, in South Africa, right? Like nobody, but it's not enough.
But then now, when you keep clowning him, the more you do it, because initially it looks like banter, right? But the more sustained it is, then you start to look like
you look like a hater.
No, you start to look like a finger in the ass.
Yeah.
That's when that's when in an anus.
Yeah.
And that's what you become.
Yeah, word.
Right?
Word.
Whereas if unoyithatha, unokasiyethu ntwenu. You see, so it comes back to that.
I get it.
Because you need to be conscious to say
that's self-awareness.
Like, it's self-awareness.
It's
self-awareness.
I think maybe it comes from
it's self-awareness.
That virtue we're looking for. It's self-awareness.
Self-awareness. And I get you.
How does this make me look?
Yes. Especially if you do it. Yeah, I get you. If I did it at a consented effort,
And also
or even people that are unnecessarily, and I used to be that person that are unnecessarily rude.
Yeah, when responding,
or when you respond to people, you always
outing whatever.
Always make sure that you include abrasive terms.
Yeah, or clowning. Like
bro.
Yeah, you don't have to.
And that builds a brand for you.
Yeah.
To shake off that brand,
it builds
it's hard.
builds a brand for you, right?
It's hard.
And the thing is, you spend so much time, right? Because once you've built that brand for you, it becomes you.
It's you.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, it follows you.
Yeah.
Right? Even when you would have liked to have left it behind.
Yeah.
Ne? And now you spend so much time to prove to us that you are not that.
Yeah.
And when you invest time in trying to shake off that stigma, right? And to the point that when people start to associate you with the brand that you built for yourself, it frustrates you so bad, right? And it frustrates you to an extent that whenever somebody accuses you of that brand, you are going to respond violently. Because you're taking
me back to.
But then it further
takes you back.
Solidifies what they already
thinking about you.
Yeah. It's hard, bro.
It's fucking difficult.
Yeah,
and
it's hard.
I think that's a lesson for people in social media, like what you've said.
Building brands.
They don't. I see like a lot of I see a lot of people who, the way they talk, the way they express themselves, like it's as if you don't see yourself in your 30s. It's as if you don't see it. You don't see that you are going to your 30s.
Yeah, you're going to get old.
How this is going to affect how people look at you.
But I see it in people that are much older than us too.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, you don't like that people think this of you, right? And then on the odd day, you become soft. You start threading about
into the
siras, or the things that you went through, or the people that you helped, And I always see it as a cop out, because as much as people might think that you're a fucking piece of shit, you have a certain soft side to you. But don't nobody give a fuck, bro.
Yeah, because this is the image that
nobody cares, that because what you present predominantly is this abrasive. You're overwhelmed and to a point that. And these very same people sometimes will spit facts, things that are valid.
No, that's not true.
But nobody will pay attention to them.
Yeah, nobody hears it.
The message.
Yeah, and they invest a lot of energy. On the
just to find the mistakes in the stuff that you say.
They invest a lot of energy in trying to highlight that well, even when I'm telling the truth, nobody cares. That's because don't nobody want to interact with you, bro.
Yeah.
What? Nah.
So your truth is wasted coming out of your mouth.
It's wasted because it comes from you.
built.
What? Because nobody wants to interact with you because interacting with you comes with too much.
Yeah.
It comes with a lot.
Yeah. And Kore, now, because it's hard to separate the person from your perception of, or to separate, let's say, your tweet from my perception of who tweeted it,
or your persona,
or your persona, or the persona you've created, or and you live behind.
I don't believe that. Who you portray on Twitter
is not you.
Is not you.
It's part of you, though.
I don't believe it's not you.
But we've mentioned
it's part of you. Even the persona that you might have been portraying on Facebook back then, that is a part of you.
The one that so what you are saying is that, for example, in different platforms, I show up at work differently. I show up at a podcast differently. I show up to my wife differently. But whatever I present to you now, it's 100% to you of me.
It is.
Yes.
So to you,
it is.
To you, you judge me. Your 100% of Tabang is this.
It's just that.
So if you're a poser, right, that doesn't have shit, but you like to put up pictures about
in people's cars,
people's cars, you know, all up in, you know, environments that display opulence and whatnot. It tells me two things: that watan to the topo, and you're a liar.
Yeah.
Right?
No, wait. Why would you think they're lying?
Because you're deceiving us to believe those are.
No, I'm saying based on the presumption or the assumption or the underlier that you are posing.
Oh, okay,
right?
Okay.
Which there are people that do that.
A lot.
Those people aspire to those things. A lot.
Yeah, they're liars.
They're liars.
Because they don't present themselves in a factual manner.
Yeah.
Right? But you might find that when they interact with people in their daily lives, they are not compulsive liars. They just lead a different life on social media. You're a liar in that context.
Yeah.
But I didn't get you wrong. You're
You're a liar, bro.
Right, yeah. It's just that there are other parts of you I'm not privy to. And now you try to use those parts that I'm not privy to
yourself.
to say to me that I don't know you.
But
my nigga, what you gave me is you.
Yeah.
That's exactly where I was going to take it already.
Yeah.
So now, if your 100% is me being on the podcast, but remember in my life, the podcast is only 5% of who I am.
Word.
But for the people that see me on the podcast,
that's 100%. That's 100% of who I am.
Is.
Yeah.
Then my wife also watches the pod, but she also knows me as a husband.
Yes.
So she's exposed to 80% of who I am.
So she knows who you.
So
you're not
another
a complete asshole
of me that she doesn't know. There are things that I will express to you on the basis of lemachita, and maybe it's a frustration.
I know.
It's like when you like to say things that have shock value.
Yeah, I like to do that.
Yeah, you get a kick out of rubbing people off the wrong way.
I do.
You get a kick out of that. That's you, my nigga.
Yeah.
You know, but you can't say that because that's all that you've given me. But there's so much more to you.
I can't go when I classify you. Yeah.
No, I can't classify you. I will classify you because that's all you show me.
But what I'm saying is I will classify you with what you've given me. So in other words, when you defend yourself, do not defend yourself by saying, Alex.
Yeah, don't say you are not there. Don't say you are not that. Say I am that.
And more.
And that.
But because I didn't know that.
But that you are.
You are.
I'm an asshole, but I do this too.
That's what people love to run away from.
I'm an asshole, but I do that too.
Yeah, and whatever good that you're doing, in addition to you being a fucking jerk off online, doesn't mean that they cancel each other out.
Yeah.
You are both of those things.
You are both of those.
Yeah,
things.
you're a piece of shit.
So what I'm saying is that okay. So what are we saying?
You're a piece of shit, but you're
double down.
But you're kind as well.
Yeah, double down.
You're a piece of shit.
Double down on everything.
Double down. Actually exclusive.
Negative double. Because the thing about social media is it's unforgiving of change, right? It's really unforgiving. Like let's say I stood by the statement Medi Adam. Let's say I stood by it, right? But Bill. But now I don't necessarily stand by it, right? But I still get classified by it. Medidi Dom tweet, and then maybe they're speaking about
Medidi
me.
Dom Twitter.
Yeah.
Does that still exist?
Yeah.
Not that much.
Yeah, not that much, but yeah.
I
But
thought that died with the God party.
my nigga, there's still some people that classify it.
Okay.
And then you know, you know what I'm saying? so if on I'm not gonna deny your experience of me, right? Even
Yeah.
though I've changed. And then now my thing is that sometimes when you bring that forth, I double down on it.
Yeah.
I fucking double down, bro.
But
Yeah.
what Maurice is saying is very important because it's finally the same thing. Have you seen when a man is accused of rape or GBV? Their content that week changes. I would say motivate as if you can be a good father and a rapist.
You can.
So now when you are trying to delegitimize a story of somebody that accuses you, you highlight and promote all the other things that you believe are good, which could be true.
Yeah, you could be
But
both.
right now, this person is dealing with you. You presented yourself as a rapist to them. And the fact that you're a good father and a good husband
Doesn't fucking
and
matter.
a member of society does not take away from the fact that you are still a rapist.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And you're a good
prepare
father.
yourself
And you're a good
psychologically-
father. Yeah.
So psychologically, people think me highlighting that I'm a good father, it will nullify and invalidate the story that I'm a rapist.
Yeah.
You are a rapist.
Yeah, and it helps back to the conversation we had at the start of this podcast with the many facets of a person. You know what I'm saying? Like people have many facets to it.
And it, like over time, when you've been on social media long enough, especially Twitter, because Twitter really lets us into people's deepest and darkest thoughts, even when they don't know that they are letting them off. You know, but you over time there's a trend.
There's a trend.
There's a trend that people will notice. You know, over time. You know, he's a philanthropist.
He's a piece of shit.
Or he's a liar.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Or you know, whenever somebody speaks about their achievement, you always find them in the comments talking about what they have achieved.
Yeah, like my opinion of that Kushik guy. He's very smart, but he's a fucking asshole to me.
Who?
Kushik. Is it Kushik or what?
Kushik?
Is it Kushik?
Is it Kushik? Oh, I don't know.
Very smart.
Let me not.
Very smart motherfucker, but he plays a role too. Like there's a character that he plays for social media. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. And whenever he's called upon a tweet, like he's on brand. Yeah, and the brand is assholey. You know what I'm saying?
And you could be right.
It's embarrassing people.
Yeah.
Right, you could be right.
Embarrassing people.
You could be telling the greatest of truths, right? But within telling me the truth, you call me a bitch.
Yeah. Because you are a bitch, nigga.
Right? Yeah, I might be a bitch, right? I might be a
But you're
bitch.
feeling that enjoy
That you enjoy that.
Yeah.
Like you call me and
I call you out.
And answering me and telling me that truth, you are right. You call me a bitch. Right? So that then gives me two things, right? You're knowledgeable and what else?
What else?
And what else?
And I'm not the only one you call a bitch. It's on brand.
It's on brand.
And every time you speak to people, that's how you respond.
That's your brand, bro.
Mariana, camera how factual he always is.
Yes. But he's an asshole, bro. He's an asshole. And Babangata, Linda too. I don't want to hide it. Like
so maybe self-awareness, but self-awareness maybe could also say that
I'm an asshole too.
Yeah, I'm an asshole. And I'm okay with it, you know. There are people that just stand by who they are, you know. They stand behind it, and they're like, there's no incentive for me to change because the only people that matter to me or that I care about are my inner circle, and they love me and I love them, and I'm cool. I don't need any validation from y'all, which is okay.
Stories like that.
You know, which is okay, you know. But the very same people that you interact with on a public platform will always and can always have an opinion about you because that's what you feed out to them.
Yeah, and you should be okay to accept that too. Yeah.